Hey everybody, today we're going to be covering stories related to Anthony Joshua and how his next fight could be against a potential Russian giant by the name of Makhmudov. And yes guys, that could happen in 2026, and you heard it right, a Russian giant. I'm not kidding you guys, he's literally a giant. And that same giant that I'm talking about will actually take on Dave Allen this Saturday on October 11th. It'll be on DAZN Boxing, and it's already billed as not even a battle, a war. And then we also talk about the tragic passing of Arturo Gatti Jr. We break it all down, guys, here. It's really sad. We've lost a boxing legacy way too soon. Stick around, guys. It's messy. It's tragic, and I know it's the fight world. We'll get into it. So I'm Sheeraz, your host of Duality 7X, and today we get real. All right, fight talk, tears, speculation, and what it all means. All right, so let me know what you guys think. Please drop it in the comments. Please hit the like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification so you never miss any fight reactions, breakdowns, or any exclusive takes. So if you love fight talk with attitude, you're definitely in the right place. I want to get to my first story, guys. I want to talk about Anthony Joshua. All right. And so, yes, there's a lot of buzz about Anthony Joshua's next fight potentially happening against this Russian juggernaut by the name of Arturo Gatti Makhmudov. Okay, he's 22 and 19, and 20 wins, 2 losses, and out of that he has 19 KOs. And yeah, there's discussions between his camp and Eddie Hearn, and there's discussions about the possibility of this going down in 2026, and this could potentially happen. So, and of course there's caveats in anything, and any clauses, any potential discussions, contracts. Makhmudov has to beat Dave Allen this weekend in order for that fight to potentially happen. All right, Makhmudov said he offered the fight. Joshua said, okay, next year we can do it, and then they solidified it with words. But of course, nothing is actually official until it is contractual, until it's on paper. All right, so on the Joshua side, promoter Eddie Hearn says he's not confirming anything solid as of yet. Plenty of names in a mix, including Jake Paul. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tag Davis. That's happening on November 15th. So depending on the outcome of that, Jake Paul could be in the mix of taking on Joshua, or depending on how it goes against Dave Allen, Makhmudov might actually have his opportunity to take on one of UK's greatest heavyweights of all time. So the reason this matters, my opinion on it, Joshua's a big name, guys. But his aura has subsequently dimmed a little bit after some losses. People are looking for that comeback fight, potentially. Makhmudov is dangerous. He's heavy hitting. As I mentioned before, he's 20 and 2 with 19 by way of KO. And he's got momentum. And that's healthy. That's healthy in a fighter. That's healthy in the sport of boxing. And if he gets through Dave Allen this Saturday, then the hype for Joshua versus Makhmudov could actually be really huge. And it's definitely a chess move, guys. I mean, at any point, at any time, anything can happen to impede in the way of a potential fight or super fight, right? Promoters get in the mix, regulatory bodies, all kinds of marketing. I mean, the bureaucracy of the politics itself it's unfortunate, but it's there. All right, so we have to also be cognizant of that fact as well too. So just because 2 fighters agree by words, that doesn't actually make it contractual, right? So it's definitely a chess move, and Makhmudov's team might definitely be trying to lock in this marquee name to raise his profile. And I mean, they've got everything to win here. The question is this the best move for Anthony Joshua? All right, so I have some skepticism. Makhmudov has been stopped before. And he's lost to from Caballero and Viniello. His chin is not flawless. All right, so again, words, handshakes, those deals don't always hold up, as I mentioned before. Promoters, contracts, injuries, ego, all of that can get in the way, and it is what it is. But right now, it's definitely creating some much needed buzz to hype up this fight between Makhmudov and Allen, because otherwise, had this discussion not even come around, I probably wouldn't have watched the fight. But now I'm intrigued. I want to see Makhmudov. I want to see what he's all about, and I want to see, is this guy really a monster? Can like, how does he perform in the ring? So many questions, and I'm sure some folks on Anthony Joshua's side are also going to be paying strict attention to this as well too. Again, if Makhmudov beats Allen and Joshua backs out or picks someone else, I mean that could potentially be a PR nightmare, broken expectations. But really, who's going to lose in all this? It'll be Makhmudov. Honestly, it's not going to be Joshua, because for Joshua, he's lining himself up, I know, for a huge super payday. And what do you think is actually going to make sense, right? I mean, if we're trying to define a fight, for example, let's say, okay, let's talk about this. If it does happen, big pay-per-view potential, we know that, massive impact, on the heavyweight division maps, of course, and right. I mean, this could be a clearly defining moment for maybe not so much for Joshua, but probably more for Makhmudov. Win and you're a name. Lose and you go back to the dungeon. It's very, very possible. But I mean, just think about it. Just think about it for a second. If Makhmudov beats Dave Allen in decisive fashion, and he wants that fight against Joshua, if you're Eddie Hearn, or if you're in Joshua's camp, what would make the most sense? To take on Makhmudov, or to take on, say, the likes of Jake Paul, and potentially look at anywhere from 25, 50, maybe more $1 million for that fight? I don't know how many pay-per-view dollars Makhmudov versus Joshua is going to bring, but Makhmudov does bring some marketability because this man is literally a giant. He is huge. So there's so many ways they could spin that storyline, and from a marketing perspective, I think they could make it work. But will it bring in as much revenue, like as much dollars as it would if you were to take on Jake Paul? Probably not. So anyways, that's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens. I'll be paying close attention to what happens this Saturday. Now, let's talk about this fight this Saturday. Let's talk about Allen versus Makhmudov, right? I mean, it's going to be war. It's kill or be killed, guys, honestly, right? I mean, in his build-up, Makhmudov said words like war, battle, he said all kinds of crazy things, like intense rhetoric. I mean, he's clearly a warrior. Allen admits that he's scared, less. He says that this might be one of the toughest matches of his career. I mean, promoters and insiders technically are calling this a potential slaughter or upset. I mean, it really depends on who shows up, I guess, right? I mean, I love fight trash talk when it's real, but I mean, if you're calling it war raises expectations for violence and those kind of things, I mean, that sometimes doesn't. I mean, that sometimes it does lead to some kind of pressure, but not necessarily the performance, right? I think that's what's more important here, right? So Allen's desperation is definitely real. I feel it. Reading up on this, it does seem like he's genuinely scared. And I mean, look, for Allen, he needs a big win. And he needs this win. So he might go full gas early, gamble everything that he has, and just throw out all of his weaponry in the first round. And hopefully, for him, I'm sure he's hoping that he lands on, Makhmudov's chin and potentially knocks him down. If he could get the early knockdown, I think that could really change the momentum, change the hype of the fight, and I think Dave Allen could probably walk away with this. Then again, if Makhmudov is locked in and he starts hitting him with those haymakers, his hands are bigger than the size of my head. And if he starts unwinding on Dave Allen, it's over, guys, and it's going to be over very, very fast. So, yeah, I mean, Makhmudov has the size, he's got the power, he's destructive. One mistake from Allen, and it could end early, guys, honestly. I mean, I could see this going really for either fighter, but I think I'm going to lean more towards Makhmudov. I see the first two, maybe 2-3 rounds being somewhat chaotic, and then it starts to slow down. But those shots are going to land, and they're going to hurt. And if Allen can survive maybe rounds 4 and 6, now I think he battles his way back and potentially wins this fight. But if he can't get to rounds 4 and 6, and the reason I say that, the reason that's so important is because if Allen can get through rounds, say 4 through 6, that means his stamina is really top notch, and that means and look, the taller you are, the heavier you are. Fact is fact, guys. Makhmudov is going to slow down, and he might even get sloppy, right? So it's the early rounds for both fighters that they're going to try to take advantage of. But again, like deep down, I'm leaning more towards Makhmudov. He's knocked out opponents mid rounds, and I mean, if Allen surprises, that means he's dragging it on late. But then it'll boost his standings, and maybe makes Joshua second guess as to who he really wants to fight, because the next thing you know, Dave Allen's name is in the mix, right? So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, guys. Now, I'm a little sad for this. We have some very, very tragic news. I couldn't believe it when I read this. But Arturo Gatti Jr., son of the legendary fighter Arturo Gatti, Arturo Thunder Gatti. He used to live here in Canada, and, but his son has passed away. His death was confirmed by his longtime coach and by Chuck Zito, former bodyguard of Gatti Sr. Very, very close family friend. And early reports are indicating that he was found in Mexico in an apartment, hanging. The cause is still under investigation. His last Instagram post was an AI-generated tribute image of him and his father in boxing gear. Now, yeah, this is like totally surreal. Arturo Gatti Sr. Passed away in 2009. Okay, like this is some time ago. Like 16, 17 years ago, under some very, very controversial circumstances. Declared a suicide, though many questioned it. Gatti Jr. has, he's been kind of following his father's footsteps, training in boxing with hopes to turn pro one day. And it seems like he was a very young, talented fighter as well, too. I mean, this one obviously hits hard for many reasons. The legacy, the expectations, the shadow of loss. I mean, it's too much. It's really heavy, guys. You wonder, was pressure, mental health, something darker involved? I mean, the same kind of conversations are going to happen that kind of swirled around when Arturo Gatti Sr. Passed in 2009. But I mean, for Arturo Gatti Jr. being only 17, so young, so much ahead, I mean, the resemblance to his father, the manner of death, I mean, it adds another layer of ambiguity and a layer of tragedy for sure. Right? So what does this all mean? I mean, if this is something to do with mental health, and there's some unseen issues here, some family trauma perhaps, I mean, this could spark renewed conversations about athlete wellness, mental health, especially when it comes to boxing, combat sports, athlete circles. I mean, in a boxing community, I mean, this might reopen an investigation into Gatti Sr.'s death. And comparisons are definitely going to be made, because people are going to spend a lot of time trying to analyze both of these instances to see if there's any kind of a pattern, any kind of correlation, right? So now, what about legacy? I mean, now that he becomes part of the Gatti lore, it's tragic, guys. It's haunting, and it's absolutely shocking. So here's here's kind of like where I land with all of this, guys. That this is my take, honestly. And look, I mean, Joshua Makhmudov, like, yeah, I believe the talking is real. I think it's genuine, but probably overly optimistic. I mean, in my opinion, I don't see this fight happening at all. And I mean, Joshua, I think, is waiting to see what happens. Truly, I think he's waiting to see what happens between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. That's going to be, I think, the catalyst. I think that's going to be kind of like the factor in terms of deciding the path that Joshua takes. That point onwards. Now, I'm not ruling out a fight with Makhmudov. I think it's possible. And who knows, guys? It may not even be Joshua versus Makhmudov. I mean, what about Tyson Fury? What about Chisora? What about Derek Chisora? Deontay Wilder? Tommy Fury. What about Daniel Dubois? I mean, there are so many fighters that we could think of that could all be great opponents for Makhmudov. The question is really going to come down to is how well does he perform against Dave Allen this Saturday? And what kind of marketability and hype is going to be following him? If he could drum up a lot of excitement and buzz, I think those talks start to become real. And if not with Anthony Joshua, then definitely with another top heavyweight. Yeah, I mean, I think for the excitement factor, the wow factor, the money, again, guys, depending on how Makhmudov fights this weekend, I think it's going to open doors to a lot more discussions, definitely, for this fighter. So good on him, and I hope he does well because everyone's going to be expecting big things out of him. That said, Allen needs this fight just as much as Makhmudov, and I'm sure he's going to come in there. Sure, he's scared. Sure, he's intimidated. But he knows what he needs to do, and he's got to get it done early because this match, I'm telling you guys, is going to be violent. It's going to be brutal. And expect fireworks early. I'm telling you guys right now, there's no point of missing round one. No point missing the introductions. If you haven't got your snacks, your drinks, your nachos, or your food, then don't. Wait till this fight's over because you guys don't want to miss anything. Now, when it comes to Gatti Jr.'s passing, I mean, it's heartbreaking, guys. It's so tragic. He was so young, and from what I'm hearing, he was a very talented young man, a talented young fighter. It reminds us that fighters are humans first, all right? And, with pain behind their gloves, in my opinion, it's really sad, and I hope the boxing world and I hope people can learn from this. And if there's definitely mental health issues and trauma that's behind all of this, then rest in peace, Gatti Jr. But I think there's a lot that perhaps maybe needs to create for more discussions in the boxing world and the boxing community and some of the bigger regulatory body governing organizations, perhaps like the WBC and others, could maybe get together and encourage some important dialogue and discussion so everyone can get together and deliberate and find comprehensive solutions to a lot of these issues, especially when it surrounds security surrounding fighters and mental health and some of the other issues that are affecting fighters. And I think that's really important. I think this is a golden opportunity to really kind of explore those paths now than later. So, yeah, really sad. And anyhow, that's my quick summary, guys. Joshua Makhmudov, Allen versus Makhmudov, and of course Gatti Jr. Let me know what you guys think. Do you believe that 2026 could be Joshua's fight against Makhmudov? Do you think that's locked in, or do you think it's just pure hype and marketing? I mean, again, just because now they're talking about it, now I really want to see Makhmudov fight, right? Drop your thoughts and comments below, and if you got, if you see the value here, guys, please hit the like and subscribe button. Join us here on Duality 7X for more fight talk, for all the drama surrounding the MMA, UFC, WWE, and boxing. We've got your back until the next one, guys. Stay safe, and we'll talk to you later.